All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the last day of the Odoo experience. I hope you enjoyed the stay the last 3 days. It's almost the end of the week, so thank you for joining me today. Let's jump right into it. My name is Brett. I am managing partner and product owner of Resolve. But today I won't be talking about me. I'm talking about something that's I'm really passionate about and also do every day, and that is guiding wholesale companies in the digital transformation. Maybe before we jump into it, a quick question. Does anybody of you is active right now in the wholesale industry? Or maybe retail or some manufacturing? All right. Yeah, all right, cool. So maybe I hope I can inspire you today with something, and let's dive into it. So what I want to do today is I want to share with you the most frequent challenges wholesale companies and actually in general also logistic companies experience today, and also guide you how you can tackle this challenge and how you can do it with digital innovation. So I will show you a few of these problems, but first of all, let me tell you, it boils actually down to one thing, and that is digital transformation. We are in an environment that is going so rapidly, so fast, and everything changes so fast, and it can become quite difficult and a challenge to stay up to date with everything. Some of these challenges, I included a few, but the first one, also very important, is the rise of e-commerce and customer expectations. This is a huge one, as thanks to the digital innovation and digitalization, e-commerce becomes way more important, and also customer expectations rise. So for example, in the beginnings, when B2B companies could just use the traditional tools to communicate to their clients, today B2B clients also want to experience a B2C approach. This means they want to get direct communication, they also want to get involved, they want to see online what they can order, they want to order online, they want quick feedback, they want to be clear communication about their orders, and this is rising. This is a rising expectation from customers, and it's also very difficult for wholesale companies that already exist to answer these questions, because sometimes they don't have the right systems, the right tools to do this, and new players in the market can do this quite fast, and in this case can capture market share. This also brings us to the second point, and that's a direct competition from suppliers to reach the end customer. So in the beginning, a wholesale company was essential to deliver to the end customers, but due to the digital transformation now, it becomes way more easier for manufacturing and suppliers to just target the end audience by using e-commerce. And this is also a huge risk and challenge for wholesale companies to stay relevant and to be unique, to stay relevant in this current market, and to stay a player in the coming years. This also puts a lot of pressure on pricing and margins, because due to this approach, manufacturers or suppliers can drop their price, and mainly a cost-based pricing just gives you low margins and also low room to invest into future growth. So that also is a lot and quite a challenge for companies to improve their pricing, to improve their margins, and to make sure that everything can be better. Also, inventory management and optimization are also very important, because today everything is about optimizing. As I said before, the rise of e-commerce is also the rise in customer expectations. So customers also expect when they order something to be delivered quite fast, and also with a lot of good communication. So if you structure your inventory right, you can deliver fast, and you also can make sure that there is a good communication to your client about this process. Clients are way more convinced to work with you instead of having a very long supply chain, or maybe don't do even communication. And this is also almost expected by customers. In the end, we also see a lot of fragmented communication. So for example, you have some salespeople that have communication in their own mailboxes, or maybe Excels or different tools, and there is no consolidated view of all this information. And for the client, that can become very unclear, but also internally you get suboptimal solutions. Because once you get information you get insight into this information, you also know what this customer does, how many times he orders, what are his favorite products, what the historical price is. And if you miss all this information in one central place, you miss crucial steps where you can target your audience. But these are only a few fragments or a few challenges that are coming at wholesale companies today. But all of these challenges also bring new possibilities with them. These possibilities lie especially in optimizing, digitalizing, and today I want to tell you how Odoo can maybe help you to support your digital growth and to make sure you can transform these challenges into opportunities for you. So when we look at these processes, what I see is there are three main pillars that can be improved. Firstly, it's optimizing sales. followed by improving your supply chain, and lastly, when you get more insight and financial reporting, then you can optimize as a whole. Now let's dive into them one by one, but first, let me explain you and tell you what my favorite Odoo setup is for a wholesale company. When we go to our clients and wholesale companies, the most frequent flow is the flow I show you behind, and for me, the first six apps shown are the most important ones. So first of all, CRM and sales are very important to get a consolidated view over your customers, their pricing, their historic track record, and so on. Followed by the operational part, so purchase, inventory, and barcode. This makes sure that you can tie your sales approach to your operations. So for example, you can see that your purchase is linked to your sales, so you can control your inventory, you can communicate this to your clients, and you can use the barcode scanner to optimize your warehouse flow and to make sure that you have real-time information and the right traceability. Lastly, accounting. This is where everything combines. So in accounting, you get a consolidated view of everything you sell, you buy, and these reports are very important. Accounting is also linked to cash flow, but I will come back to that in a minute. The last row of apps are some that can be optional, but also very interesting when you are, for example, in a specific niche. So for example, when you do value-added service or something, or you produce something to give just that extra mile to your client, manufacturing can be very interesting to include that. Website is also very interesting. As I said, the rise of e-commerce is something that's very important. And by just having a website and e-commerce platform included, you can reach your customers so much faster, give them so much more information, and this way it's easier to reach them. Lastly, Help Desk is an app in Odoo that's also possible to use for after sales. This has also increased customer satisfaction to get a track record of what's communicated, what's going on when you get returns or some products are damaged or under warranty. You can always follow up in the Help Desk. And this is the complete flow we advise when we go to clients in the wholesale industry to make sure they can tackle problems on the operational, the sales, and the financial level. Now let's dive some deeper into these three topics. First of all, sales. So let's start with structuring the sales approach. As you see on the top right, you can see there are different apps. I will go into each of them during these slides. So first, CRM and sales are actually the main components of a warehouse where everything starts. Every organization is driven by sales, because if you do sales, then you can order products, you can ship them. So it's very important to have a streamlined and continuous sales process. And thanks to the CRM and sales application, you can integrate it, consolidate information, make sure you have a 360 view of this client. This means that every salesperson in the firm can get into this account, can see what are the ordered products, how many, what was the last time he ordered, does he have outstanding invoices, and so on. So this gives you a real-time information of the customer, which makes it way more easier for every salespeople to do possible upsells, but to also communicate to your customer, because customers more and more expect this personal approach, and they appreciate if you know all this information at once. Also, an integrated e-commerce platform is also very useful, because when you have normal salespeople, they also have weekends, they also have holidays. A website doesn't. You can get your orders 24/7. People have all the information at a glimpse, and it's very easy to integrate into your system. And if you connect it to your backend, also the operational and the financial flow are automatically triggered, which means you have a lot less effort to get the same output. Lastly, what we see in the market is that there is a huge ask for blanket orders. So unfortunately, this is not standard in Odoo, but we made a custom module to make sure, because all our clients, we see that it's something really important. And why blanket order is so important is, first of all, to meet your customer satisfaction, because customers, first of all, they want to know when they order, they want to have their stock fast. So how do you get that? You arrange upfront, you arrange when you will deliver and what you will deliver. But this also gives you a very important operational advantage, because when you do this, you get more control over your stock. You don't have to order all the products at once, so you can keep your stock lower, which means you also have more cash flow to invest in other investments. So that's why blanket orders are very important, and for us, we use them a lot, just to make sure that your client communication and forecast can be done more effectively, and that you can satisfy your customer with a quick delivery. That being said, let's go to operations. In operations, Odoo has also numerous of apps that can improve your digital operations and your warehouse. So as you can see, the most important ones are listed up there. So it's purchase, inventory, barcode, and possibly manufacturing if you do, for example, value-added services or extra production yourselves. The custom routes in Odoo is something really powerful. As you may know, an operational process can be very complex and it can be very difficult also for your employees to pick the right goods and to do it efficiently. You can waste a lot of time in a warehouse. So by optimizing your warehouse, you can improve the time of your employees, you can deliver faster, deliver better, make less mistakes, and also when you get returns, you can handle them effectively. So if people do a return or have a bad experience with a damaged product, this can also be handled efficiently. So that's why custom route is very important. It's also very important because every operations and every warehouse has its own way of working, more or less the same, but there is always something unique or different locations or a different setup. And by custom routes in Odoo, you can specify it specifically to your warehouse, so everything is linked to what you do and how your operators work, so that makes it way more efficient for them to do what they need. Also, packaging and labeling is something that's becoming way more and more important to get traceability over your products, your deliveries, and what you are doing. So packaging can be something like SSCC labels, for example, or GS1 barcodes, but traceability on lot or serial number can also be very effective if you get, for example, returns. And you can ask a question, if you get a product in return, is it even from here? Did the customer even order the product here? Well, with this traceability, you get way more insights into this packaging and to the transfer to know also if this product is from you, and you can handle way more quickly. And also, if something goes wrong, you have a track record to go back to see where it went wrong. Lastly, and also a very important one, is how this inventory is linked to your purchase app and to the forecasting. So forecasting is a super powerful tool to help you manage your stock levels, your cash flow, and to improve your operations. I already told you about the blanket orders and how it can optimize your product and your process, but a real forecasting tool that's included in Odoo in the purchase app is also really helpful to make sure that everything is set up. So for example, you have the lead times and the delivery times of your supplier. You have your own internal lead times, how long it takes to pick a product, pack a product, ship a product, maybe do a QC. And you also have the delivery time of your transport firm that does the delivery, or you do your own delivery to the end customer. Knowing all this information and putting it in one ERP system, make sure that you have all the tools you need to do the right forecasting, so you don't have too less stock, but also not too much stock. So this means that when you have your inventory, you can keep it under control, get control over your cash, and also make sure that it's all integrated. Lastly, it's not as a bullet on the slide, but the barcode app makes it way more efficient to do your operations and to get real-time insights. All right, let's go to finance. Finance actually is something that's covering all of these processes. So from sales to delivery, finance comes at everything. When you get invoices from suppliers, when you send your own invoices, you have to do your Intrastat reporting, you have to do the end of the month reporting, your VAT. So in Odoo, there is standard out-of-the-box reporting, and we've seen already a lot of other tools where it isn't the case. So I'm very happy to say that in Odoo you can get this out of the box, what makes it way more easier at the end of the month to see what are your numbers, how are you doing, and how can you do better. Also, the automated stock valuation is something very interesting, because we know in wholesale, margins and pricing is sometimes very complex, but also very important. And that's why automated stock valuation makes it way more easier to get insight into this information, to know how it's going, to know what are your margins, and also how you can improve them. And maybe that's something difficult, but by getting this data accessible and get insight into this data, that's the first step into improving it. So that's why automated stock valuation is very important. This brings us to margins. As I said, margins are very important, but what's also important is credit limit control. Today we see there are a lot of wholesale companies and companies in general that struggle financially. I think it was in the news last week that in Belgium there have never been that many companies that went bankrupt than this year in the last 9 months. So credit limit control over companies, over your clients is also something very important to get control over your own financial health. Odoo has this out of the box, what makes it very easy. But what we also see is that there is often a connection with something like Graydon, a tool that has external information about the financial health of different companies to make sure you get the right information, get the right credit limits, and don't take too much risk with risky clients. All this information combined brings us to how Odoo can help you with all these challenges. So as I said, Odoo is an ERP package that covers from sales, operations, and finance. And to get the most out of it, I think you have to cover the whole operations from sales, from lead to cash, actually in the company. But not every company is able to do this at once. Maybe you already have some other systems, or maybe you're not ready to switch fully. You just maybe want to get a head start. So that's where Odoo is very flexible. And first of all, it's flexible that it can be for any wholesale company. If you're in woods, electronics, or maybe something else, it doesn't matter because Odoo can be flexible and fit to the specific needs of your company. It's also a tool that can cover all business needs, but it's also scalable. So while it can cover your whole process, it doesn't need to be. You can also focus, for example, on sales, operations, or finance, or two of them, or maybe just one app, but it can still be grown later. So it's a scalable solution. It's important from the beginning that you know what are your strategic goals of the company, where are you heading to, that you can start in the right direction. For me, that's one of the most important things when you start, is that you know where you want to go, what is the ambition, what is the strategic goal, and how can a system help you to reach that. And that may be by implementing Odoo, but that can also be by just optimizing a few processes before you do this. So for me, it's really important that when you do it, it's a scalable solution Odoo that can be flexible based on your needs. And we have to look case by case by what's the best way to do this and how we can implement it as good as possible. All right, what I also want to tell you is that this digital transformation is not something you do once. It's not by implementing Odoo, it's a solution to all these challenges. These challenges will come, and digital transformation will be faster and faster in the coming years. So it's really important that you stay relevant, stay up to date, and just it's not like you implement Odoo today or you implement a tool today and you are fixed. No, there's a continuous process. You have to improve. You have to consciously challenge yourself to do better, and this way you can improve. And with that, I want to thank you today for this talk. We also have a pad where you can ask some questions, so if you have some questions, I'm happy to answer them. We also have a booth in this hall. It's in hall 7. It's booth I8, I think. So if you want to get a quick chat, I'm happy to assist you over here or maybe in the end. Thank you for listening at the end of the day. Get well home safe later. And if you have some questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.
Hello, so we have 6 people on the pad that just started to write some question now. So I guess let's wait a little bit. The question is not finished. So what forecasting tools do you use?
What forecasting tools?
Yes.
So actually in Odoo there is a forecasting tool in the purchase application. That's where you can set up your lead times, for example. You can set up also on your products or in the settings, you can set lead times from suppliers, from yourself, and from your internal process. You can also set delivery times for your products. So in this way, you get a whole view over the whole supply chain to make sure you get your lead times. And the purchasing app and the forecasting tool in Odoo will count based on all these days and will recommend you the best time to purchase and the amount based on your forecasted revenue and your forecasted product sold.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the answer. We have another question right here. You have mentioned digital transformation. To what extent has Odoo helped you change your organization?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Yes. So you have mentioned digital transformation.
Mm-hmm.
To what extent has Odoo helped you change your organization?
All right. So maybe some context. I don't actually work in a wholesale company. I work I have an Odoo implementation and consultancy company that helps wholesale companies do the digital transformation. But what we see is that digital transformation as such, Odoo is not the answer to digital transformation. It first starts with why do you want to do it? Why do you want to change? What are your ambitions? What are your goals? And based on that, then we can see how Odoo can help. It's not the other way around. It's not that Odoo is a clear answer to a digital transformation. You first need to see what are your goals, how do you want to grow, and then we'll see how Odoo can match on that to get you the best possible solution.
Cool, perfect. What would you recommend for a smooth transition?
For?
A smooth transition.
For a smooth transition. A good key user. It's also very important. I think when you do such an implementation or such a transition, it's very important for a company that you have buy-in from your own people. So when you do this change, you get a lot of maybe change management conflicts internally. So the main important thing for me is that you get people on board in this change. You know why they are doing it, what's in it for them, and when they get better, when it gets more efficient to them, it's always okay. But I think you have to start at the beginning and explain to these people why you're doing it and what is your goal.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We have another question in here. So, is Odoo fit for small or large wholesale company? And do you have examples?
Yeah, maybe a good question. I believe Odoo is fit for both small and larger companies. I think the smallest one we have is around like a few employees, and the largest one we do is around between 100 and 200 employees. And both are fit with Odoo. They have a different setup based on their needs, but I believe for both Odoo can be a really good fit. And it's just based on that's the advantage of Odoo. It's very flexible. So also when you are a small company and you want to grow, you also know you have a tool that can grow with you, and that can be changed based on the process you have as your organization is more mature.
Okay, thank you. We don't have any other question left, so I
All right.
guess.
All right. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, and maybe see you next year. Bye.